But I even had those the problem is nobody in my house likes them except me, so that's why I haven't had them probably in 20
Stinks
years.
up the house for a little bit too.
That is true. They do. They linger, man. That is true.
Oh, what's that shirt you got on? I like that.
I got this at World of Disney a couple years ago. It's just
okay.
A Mickey pullover.
Yeah, I got a Mickey pullover during like Wine and Dine. It was like I called it like a gift from my mom because like my dad gave me money for my birthday, saying like this is from your mother, you know. So I was like, I got to get something nice. So I bought a Mickey Nike pullover. So
I want to say you were there when I got this. Like it was in World of Disney. It was chaotic late at night one night.
Okay, I may have been.
I think it was when I was looking for the blue shirt. One of the nights when I was looking for the blue shirt.
Oh, yes.
I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and you did end up getting that. I remember that.
Then I was on the mission for the blue shirt, and then you ended up giving me the blue shirt.
So it would have been last summer.
Yeah.
And then I ended up finding the blue shirt. Yeah.
I have the blue shirt now hanging in my closet, which once it gets warm, I actually have another shirt too that I haven't worn yet because it's been just freezing. Like it was sleeting here on Easter. Brutal. So happy Easter, everybody. Russ, hope you had a good service today. Katie, Justin, Jennifer. Jennifer's just back from Walt Disney World. I did just see that. Yes.
Nice.
Colin, give us a little trip report. That'd be awesome. Rhonda Lee's up in Canada. Yeah, we had a sleety, cold, freezing. Scott was just talking about how cold it was up in Michigan for Easter. Yeah,
it is.
Not a warm Easter this year. So
I ended up not golfing. Remember that we talked about that last Sunday. Like, what did I do with my mother-in-law's birthday on Tuesday? It was the only nice day of the week, and I did not golf, but I made sure she heard about it.
Yeah, you did the right thing. I'm just saying.
And now, so it's been like a week since I've golfed. The next best day is Thursday, so it really is going to be like 10 days without golfing.
Well, I don't know how it's going to be in Michigan, though, but like it's going to be cold here through, I think, like Tuesday. Like it's going to be like not out of the 50s.
Yeah.
And I saw like on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it's going to be the 80s here. So maybe
we're not going to get that warm, but we're going to, I think the high on Thursday is 66. So I'm looking forward to that.
Nice. And speaking of weather, actually, we're going to have a question here from one of our listeners who's a Patreon supporter who works at the National Weather Service, who has a question that we're going to use for our topic tonight. Yeah, I know. I know. All of a sudden, people like jump in that have these hugely important jobs. I'm like, oh my gosh, God, love weather. So we'll get cracking here. We're going to try to help him out. It's listener Greg. So thanks everybody for being here. Michelle's here. We've got Michelle's everywhere. Michelle down in Orlando, actually Venice, Florida. Michelle down in Boynton Beach. Tammy's here. So Margie's here, and happy birthday to Margie. She had a birthday this past week, so I hope you had a good one. And Robert's here. So we're going to be talking about we're going to hit the news here real quick, and we'll talk about a real expensive golf towel that Scott did not get but once. So we'll hit some news at the top and then take your calls. So if you have a call, give us a call. Hey, Tony. All right, here we go. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the Be Our Guest Podcast live call-in show. It's you, me, and Scotty G here on a Sunday night. It is Easter Sunday. Sunday night, April 17th, 2022. Hope you had a wonderful Easter here with your friends and family. I'll tell you what, here in St. Louis, Missouri, in St. Peter's, you picture Easter and you have all these plans. Weeks out, we always have the family over. We had 17 folks over today. Thinking it's going to be beautiful. You know, you're going to have some people out on the deck. You're going to play some wiffle ball. You're going to hide some Easter eggs. No, we had sleet bouncing off our deck. It is freezing here. I just had the fireplace on in the studio just a minute ago. So picture Christmas Eve kind of weather, but it's Easter. But hey, we had some good food, great family, and had a good time. And we're wrapping up here with some fun Disney talk with our friends here on Facebook and YouTube. And speaking of friends, my great friend is here with us. It's you, me, and Scotty G. We're headed up to the Mitten where I bet it was even colder than here in Missouri today for Easter. Scott, what is going on? Happy Easter to you and the fam.
Thanks, Mike. Happy Easter to you. Yeah, it was cold, but the sun was shining. That's a big thing for me, Mike. Like,
yeah,
we don't get many sunny days in Michigan. We do in the summer, but like outside of the summer, not so much. So I actually braved the weather, though, and went disc golfing with my dad and brother. So we got a couple rounds of disc golf. Not real golf. We threw the Frisbee around. It was warm enough for that. We had to wear coats. It felt kind of weird. But we stayed warm enough by walking and staying loose. So it was a good Sunday for us.
Disc golf is an underrated sport. I used to play this a lot, probably 20 years ago. Because, I mean, for one thing, this was like when I was in college. Well, probably when I was in college, I played a lot because, A, it was free. Right. And the
Right.
thing was, I had like 1 or 2 discs, and then you would find a couple on the course every now and then. So I ended up having like 4 or 5 or 6. I'd find random ones. And it was a good, like instead of walking, I mean, you're walking through the course, you get walking, but you're throwing discs and having a good time. Like it's
Yeah.
kind of an underrated sport. I
I'm
don't
gonna
know
be sore tomorrow. I promise you that. My right arm is gonna be hurting tomorrow.
right. And I play disc golf right-handed, even though I'm a left-handed
Yeah.
person and everything else. It's weird.
Another thing too, it hurts your shoulder. Like my right shoulder is hurting today. But I tell you, like real golf, I'm terrible at it. I see dudes on the course like almost like the term is park. Like if you throw a good disc right by the hole, it's called a park. I see guys parking them from the tee constantly, and like it takes me 3 to get up there to the basket. But it's a lot of fun. You get some fresh air, and to your point, Mike, it's free. The discs will cost money, like and if you want to get some of the top line, there's some discs that are better than others. But you're right, man. You can just walk up to a park and play for free, which is nice.
And that is my speed right there. And you're less likely to lose your discs. Where when we played Lake Buena Vista Golf Course, or we've played the Magnolia at Walt Disney World, I mean, a dozen balls. I mean, I could just take them and just dump.
I've lost discs though. There's a funny story last summer, but this is when my dad and brother started picking it up, so I started joining them. We played a course in Holt, Michigan, which is basically here in Lansing, and there's some water on the course, and my brother throws a disc in the water, but you can see it like floating on top. So I was like, we can just grab a disc a stick and like pull that thing in. Oh, so just picture like someone holding onto my arm and I'm stretched out with a stick trying to pull another one, and I fell in. I promise you, I fell in the water. It was gross.
It's a sitcom. Totally a sitcom. Nice. All right, so let's hit some Disney news real quick. I'll hit you with some stories, get your feedback. So we found out this week the Starbucks in Epcot is getting ready to close. The one that we've been using here for the past 3 to 4 years over there, past kind of between Canada and the Imagination Pavilion. But I mean, obviously that means that the one at Connections Cafe is imminently opening. Because I mean, can we have people in Epcot without Starbucks? Is that possible? You can't.
No, you can't. I mean, there's Joffrey's, which is good, but that little pop-up stand, I've spent many an hour waiting in that line because it is always super long there. I don't know what it is about that specific location, but yeah, it's a long one. So it would be nice to have a proper Starbucks inside the Connections Cafe. That'd be awesome.
Let me ask you real quick, what do you think of what we've seen so far with Connections Cafe in general? Because we've seen some kind of basic looking food items. I mean, they're not like super fancy, which I think is fine, because if you want fancy, go back into World Showcase. You're going to have a Starbucks. It's got to be kind of huge in there, I would imagine, with kind of all this combined together. What were your thoughts on, we haven't seen it obviously yet, but what do you think?
So I might lose my Disney card here. So I was down there on spring break when they broke like the news about the menu and such, and I have not looked at it yet. So that'll be my homework assignment after the show. I have heard from you. I've heard from Beth. I heard from some others that it looks like it's going to be a pretty solid menu, which will be awesome. But yeah, just that space and the seating is going to be really nice. And honestly, when they announced that one around spring break, they actually kind of opened up that path a little bit at Epcot, which made it a lot easier for exiting. It took one less detour around for Future World, which was a huge benefit for us.
Yep, we're going to get that here soon. So that'll be nice to have, you'll have Sunshine Seasons over there in the land, right. But now you have a new hot place to eat over again in Future World. So that'll be nice. Another news story that broke this past week, probably not to most people. We were talking disc golf a minute ago, but for the golfers down at Walt Disney World, there is a 50th. We're going to talk about this in just a second with listener Greg's question that we're going to hit, but a golf towel that gets in on the 50th anniversary. Golfers, this is something you could dangle from your bag to kind of celebrate 50 years of Walt Disney World, to show that you golfed at Walt Disney World. I know you saw this and you were kind of bummed that you took off right before this.
I took off right before it, and I was saying that Saratoga. I played golf while I was down there, and I'm not due back till August. Like it's a long break for me. So either I'm gonna have to book an air trip to get down there, because I think about August, like my golf season's almost over here in Michigan by then. So I had to have a friend of the show or someone find had to hit the clubhouse and get this merchandise. But yeah, it looks awesome. My golf bag is decked out with the Mickey head covers, the Tigger, the Minnie. Why not add some golf towels and golf balls to celebrate the 50th? That sounds awesome.
A $50 towel though, like crazy but I mean, I guess everything
it kind of is crazy.
I was like, whoa.
I normally have like the generic black $20 towel,
I guess you maybe with that one, maybe you don't really wipe your clubs with it, right?
It's just for looks. Yeah, it's just for looks.
Yeah.
But then you got to be careful. Like if you see this a lot in Michigan, because of rain, but if your cart is like stuck in the mud somewhere on a golf course, because we don't do cart path only at every course, you get stuck, the tire starts spinning, mud starts flying everywhere, then your white towel is ruined. So, well, you can wash it, but
at least it's a blue towel too. It's got that.
Is it blue? I can't even remember what it looked like.
It's blue with kind of a silver Walt Disney World 50th logo, so it's pretty nice.
I got to get my hands on it.
Yeah, you do. That's why the first thing I was thinking, because you got the head covers. I mean, Scott's got like a Tigger head cover. That's your golf bag's tricked out, so it's really cool. Okay, so last story I want to talk about. This is kind of the biggest story I wanted to talk about because I think it's pretty cool. If you've been following, I follow a lot of cast members on Twitter, and one of the frustrations, I think there's a lot of frustrations right now with a lot of people, but especially cast members. But the thing is I see that a lot of cast members are getting blocked out from going into the parks. And I would think that if I was working at Walt Disney World, one of the biggest perks, because you're not making a ton of money in most roles, but one of the biggest perks is that you get to play where you make the magic for the other guests. Like if you're not working on a Monday, it'd be nice to be able to go into the Magic Kingdom and spend some hours riding the People Mover, going to see Carousel of Progress, because likely you're a big Disney fan. So a lot of folks can't get in. And one of the things that was announced this past week was cast member iridescent evenings that are going to come this summer to the Walt Disney World Resort, which is basically kind of like evening extra magic hours, but just for cast members. And I think this is brilliant because it's a way that maybe you can take a park that is closed. You're not, the way I see it, and I haven't given a ton of details on this, and I don't know that they will because it's for cast members, but you take a park that isn't going to be used that night anyway for the general public. It's not going to be for an after hours event. It was just going to be closed, and open that up to cast members and give them an opportunity to play with short lines and, make them feel special, which I think you should. So I saw this and I think that's a win-win.
Yeah, I think it's great. I just worry about cast members that might have an early morning the next day, right? Because it kind of forces like this is longer night hours. But yeah, I think it's a huge win, and I'm not mad about that at all. Like I wish they would do more of this stuff for their cast members, and this is a step in the right direction for sure.
Absolutely. So it's a creative way to solve a problem, and because I wouldn't have thought of that, and but I think it goes a long way with, because I think, sometimes, again, you get on Twitter and I think sometimes you hear kind of the extremes, with anything, especially with sports, right? I mean, my reliever is the worst reliever in the history of baseball for your baseball team. And it's not, like he blew one save. Like everything is extreme on Twitter. But the thing is, I think this is a goodwill gesture. Like, cast members, if you get an exclusive time, say at studios from say like 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. I mean, how rocking would that be? I mean, because they're going to feel, the cast members have their own language, because they work there. And I mean, I think that would just be, they don't have to worry about the norms, folks like us that are not, the general public people. I could imagine it'd be a heck of a party. That'd be fun.
And honestly, I don't know if I want to be around a party with like a whole bunch of like hyped up cast members either. So it's a win-win for sure. Very excited about that. I believe Jeff Valley announced that this week, so that was some good news coming out.
Absolutely. And in the live chat, Tammy's asking where you can get those Tigger head covers, and you can get those at all the pro shops, right at the golf.
So I got some bad news for Tammy, unfortunately, on the Tigger one. So I'm a huge Tigger fan, and I saw it last summer, and I asked him about that. And I'll try to make it a short story, but Tigger is not a licensed Disney golf character, like Mickey and Minnie, Grumpy, Pinocchio is one, which is kind of random, and Chip and Dale are kind of like their main characters. There was a printing issue. They made a mistake. They made some head covers with Tigger by accident. They had a very small amount of them, and so I made sure I got one because I love Tigger. So I think there's like 150 total that they made. So unfortunately, they are all gone.
So you have to talk to Scott. Go behind Scott,
because who knows? They might all be in this drawer over here because I may have bought all 150.
Or play around behind Scott and hope he leaves his head cover
there you go.
box. Because I used to do that when I played with my grandpa. He gets so mad because I'd leave a head cover. We have to. I remember because we walked and we'd have to walk back 4 holes because I left my head cover. Oh my gosh, I remember that back in the day. Okay, so question for the night. Here's a question that I got from listener Greg. Now, listener Greg wrote me this week because Mike in the Midwest, I did a show this week, kind of just talking about how we were the day I recorded it, we were supposed to have these just wicked storms in Missouri, like to the point that they let out school districts. Some school districts canceled, didn't even have school. Like we do this for snow days sometimes. This is the first time I ever remember it for like a spring storm, like a thunderstorm. So some school districts didn't have school that day. Some were having, we're getting emails from Mallory School, Pam's school, like we're watching the weather. We'll dismiss early, or we'll keep your kids till 6 till it all passes. Pam's district was going to keep the kids late. She was fired up. Let me just tell you, she's like, wait, what? I got to stay until it goes by. No. So she was mad. So I was just talking about how I've always loved weather. I would love to be a weather person. And so he was listening to Mike in the Midwest. I talked about that. He let me know he works for the National Weather Service, like way high up. And he's one of the people who determines when a severe thunderstorm warning goes out, when those alerts go out to our phones, the push alerts, when your phone goes crazy. He's one of the people that makes that determination that happens.
That's pretty cool gig.
Tell me about, dude. That's some power right there. So that's pretty awesome. But I mean, it's also a big responsibility. Yes, so I thought that was super cool. So he's going to Walt Disney World a little bit later. And he had a question about merchandise. And I'm, you're more of a merch guy than I am, but our audience really is. And I wanted folks, maybe if you could call in or even in the chat here, give us some feedback. And here's what his question said in the email. Said, I have a quick question. I wanted to get your take on something. And certainly he says different strokes for different folks, but in terms of the 50th merchandise, I'm contemplating what would be a good representative memento to buy and take back when we're there in early June. Based on your recent trips, is there anything, cups, shirts, keychains, whatever, that would be a good kind of we were there memento? Something that just really called out your name with the 50th Castle logo and everything. Just trying to get some ideas. Thanks in advance for that. Also, what are your favorite treats at the moment? Although they seem to switch out every couple of weeks. Okay, so those are the two questions I wanted to throw out there for the listeners. But Scott, like, what in the merchandise have you seen? Maybe something that's bigger, something that's relatively cheap that you think is kind of like, I was there, at that point in time.
So I like the I was there, like took my brain somewhere instantly. And I'm a sucker for these. They're hard to find because they're sold out right now, as a lot of the 50th kind of related merchandise is. But I love the Starbucks series, like I was there, like the been there or we were there series. And the artwork on these mugs are just absolutely gorgeous. Now you could do an ornament too. It doesn't have to be a mug if you're not a coffee drinker, because they make ornaments of these as well. So I'm thinking, because we just got one on our last trip, we bought the Hollywood Studios 50th anniversary Starbucks ornament, which is really cute, really adorable. So that's kind of where my brain is heading.
That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. That's something that definitely screams like, it's
because they're tributes to the park for the 50 years. So like,
right.
I mean, obviously Hollywood Studios hasn't been there 50 years, Epcot or whatever. So it's more like Magic Kingdom has been there 50 years, but you think about the resort as a whole. So they have them for all 4 parks. And the details and like just how they showcase those parks on those ornaments / mugs are it's brilliant. So I would recommend something like that.
That's good, because that could be both practical, because you could use it to drink your coffee out of, rotate it into your rotation, or you could put it in a curio cabinet,
exactly.
It's just,
or you could do the ornament if you like to decorate, around the holiday season, like boom, you get an awesome ornament, and then you get it out and you're like, hey, remember when we were there for the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World? Boom. Or even like a regular 50th ornament. Like I know they have some of those. We have one, but again, I kind of started my answer off by saying like a lot of this merchandise is there for a week and then boom, it's gone. It's off the shelf.
I know this whole thing is the 50th stuff is like, it is hit or miss. Like, I'm going down in 2 weeks for cheer, and something I saw over Spring Surprise could totally be gone, because one of the things I want to get, now this really doesn't meet his kind of criteria, because to me, it hits me where I am, and it's super cheap. It's $11, and I almost got it when I was down there for Spring Surprise. I didn't. I don't know if you saw them. They had these at Six Flags when I was a kid, and I guess they had them at Walt Disney World at the same time. But again, I didn't go to Walt Disney World when I was a kid. It's a keychain, and it's got like a little thing where you peek into it and you hold it up to a light.
Yeah.
It's got the picture in it. They're kind of like rectangular prisms. Yeah. And so there's 2 versions of it. One has like Mickey in front of the castle, but it's like the 1971 version of Mickey, kind of the scary looking, He's not as well rounded.
He's kind of gives you nightmares. Yeah.
Exactly. He's a little nightmare fuelish, but I mean, he's 1971 Mickey. So I mean, he looks very retro. So that's something that's cheap, and it kind of reminds me like, okay, that's from the but it doesn't say 50th on it, but it's just something that's cool. You can throw in a drawer, put in a curio cabinet. But I did get a shirt, just a T-shirt that. It's that blue that they're using for the celebration. It's like the golf towel that we talked about. They're using it for a lot of the stuff. It's not really, I guess it's not iridescent because it's a blue T-shirt. I mean, it doesn't shimmer or anything, but it does have, like, it says Walt Disney World in the Disney font, and in the letters, it's a bunch of attractions from Walt Disney World. So you can see a bunch of attractions built into the lettering. So I got that to kind of, it says 50th celebration on it. So I got, that's a shirt you can get to keep that because I like wearing T-shirts. That's something. So we got a lot of folks chiming in here. Nurse Josh, and we're going to do a show with Josh here in the future, says he got a 50th photo frame. That's a great thing too. Photo frame, boom, right there, and take a picture from that trip in June. And that shows you were there, shows what how old the kids were, how old you were, what everything looked like. That day, was it raining? Were you there? Hopefully not. Hopefully you got a good day to get a picture. That's a good idea right there. Rick says, we'll get to that in a second because we forgot that in the news. Probably the biggest story everybody's waiting on. We totally missed that. Let's see. Deanna says, we get fridge magnets for everywhere we go. Cheap and fun to look at every day. Yeah. And they're portable, right? You can put it on your file cabinet at work, fridge at home. You can get a couple, take them back.
There's pins too. Like I can kind of relate the pins to the magnets. There's some 50th anniversary pins that are good too.
Good tips. See here. Carolyn says, I would buy something I could wear all the time. I wear my keys at work and I would get a 50th lanyard. Yeah. Back when I was a teacher, lanyards were huge for me because you had to have it on every day. And the thing is with a lanyard, I don't know. Do you have to wear lanyards when you go into the office? Do you have to wear anything?
I mean, I have an ID, but it's like clipped to like my waist.
Okay. So the one thing about a lanyard that I notice is like, it's always a conversation starter. If you don't wear like the one that the school district gives you, like just the string, I'd always wear like a Disney one or a space camp one. And I mean, it was always a conversation starter. So that'd be good idea. Yeah. Andrea says, my husband recently bought me a 50th anniversary puzzle, which is a picture of the Magic Kingdom Park from opening day. Hey, how about because you could do that together, and then maybe they have that stuff where you could, I don't know if it's like glue or something, but
it's glue, yeah. Or you could do it every October 1st, like restart it and do it again.
Look at you. That's kind of like the ornament, like it comes around, every.
It comes around once to remind you, yeah.
Remember, look at you. Yeah, and Carolyn comes back with another Christmas ornament or a 50th picture frame. Yeah.
I love ornaments, and I like to do that. Talking about like ornaments, magnets, and pins. Like I kind of like to tie that for just not the 50th, for any visit. Over spring break, we stayed at Pop, which we stayed at like a handful of times. But Mike, they had the famous Mickey phone as an ornament. That they have at Pop Century, and it said like Pop Century Resort on the bottom as a Christmas ornament. So we had to buy that.
Where did where did you get that?
At Pop Century on our spring break trip just now.
Shut up.
Yeah, I'll take a picture. I'll show you afterwards. But like, it was awesome.
I'm going by, and hopefully they still have it because I need that. That's something.
So we like to do that with a trip, or we buy a pin. Like the resort pin. It's kind of fun to do. So,
because
you don't even have to do that with just the 50th anniversary. There's other ways you can.
Do it. Right. And then Jennifer says the Coke bottle collection because you can only buy them. Let's see there, whereas a lot of the 50th merch is on Shop Disney. Yeah, and I'm so cheap. I only bought 2. So I have Epcot and the one that says 50 on it. These are full of water at this point because I didn't want to blow up my suitcase. But I figure I'll be down and maybe I could buy 2 more, 3 more on this trip. And then
you might as well complete the set now.
I know it's a whole thing. Yeah.
That's the problem. I just bought one. I just bought the Magic Kingdom one, and I'm like, oh dang.
I know. I mean, I had to buy Epcot. Epcot's like, I love Epcot. That's the whole thing, that's like, I should. I mean, they're $5 each. Come on.
Actually, it was the same price as a regular. That's what surprised me. They're the same price as the Coke bottle.
Yeah, exactly. It's a Coke. I mean,
so why would I not buy that one?
The thing that kills me is I wish they had Coke Zero because I don't.
I knew you were going to say that.
Then I'd have like 17 sets if they had Coke Zero. Anyway, let's open up the phone lines at 314. Nope, that's not it. That would be my home phone number.
Wow, you almost gave out the home number.
I did. That was almost my home phone number from back in like 2000. The phone number is actually 407-413-9395, 9395. We do have a 314 phone number calling in, which means it's St. Louis. And if I had my guess, it's probably Jennifer, but I'm not positive. Jennifer, maybe St. Louis. Who's calling?
You are correct.
Good. Hey, happy Easter. How you doing?
Happy Easter. We're it's funny talking about the Coke bottles because I had to drain some of them down the sink.
I did too. I know I did too. It was like the whole thing I told myself, like, I'm buying the bottle, Mike. I'm not, because I'm thinking I'm dumping $5 worth of Coke down the drain, but I'm not really. I'm buying the bottle. It's the souvenir, but it's still, I'm a cheapie. So
Exactly. We just got back and the storms that we had on Wednesday were the reason we flew down a day early. And if people didn't know, with Southwest, you get a free change if they change any part of your itinerary. So they had changed our itinerary a couple months ago, and we never took advantage of that until Monday night when we saw the storms coming. And we just said, you know what, we're going to try and get out on Tuesday night instead of Wednesday. So we left on Tuesday night.
And the storms weren't that
bad. We had a triple stay. We wound up staying at the Hyatt at the airport, and it was always a good spot to stay at, but it wound up being even better than we had in the past. And I highly recommend it, especially for people going on cruises that fly in late and want to use the transportation to the cruise ship.
I have a lot of folks doing that lately. A lot of folks do. Actually, I just 15 minutes ago emailed with a guest who's staying there next week, right before their cruise, walking right over to catch the transfers, and they'll be happy to hear that.
It was phenomenal. I was there actually doing a site visit for a work event, and room service is 24/7. You know, the rooms look brand new, but they were actually renovated back in 2018, but they still look new. So we went from there to the Four Seasons. So that was an excellent stay as usual. But then at the end of the trip, we went to All Star Sports. So we went from the penthouse to the outhouse.
I saw that mentioned on social media that, yeah, you kind of did it the wrong way. And your daughter, Jocelyn was like, what do we have to leave and go to sports?
Exactly. But the Four Seasons, they couldn't give us I was there for work also, and they couldn't give us the rate. And so we're like, okay, this is on our dollar. We need to stay somewhere else. But I will say, for anybody that may not have seen, All Star Sports is not renovated. So they don't have all the plugs. And with Disney making it more and more required that you use devices, they just don't have enough outlets there, or even sometimes functioning outlets. So folks need to make sure that, if they're going to need all that, they're going to need to stay probably somewhere else. But they did have the containers in the parking lot. So, and the staff did say, the cast members did say that the renovations are going to start this summer. So they're getting ready for that.
I'm surprised. I bet you they wanted to do it during the shutdown, but maybe they just didn't have the folks to do it, because I'm surprised they didn't get it done before they reopened. That's kind
exactly.
of a bummer.
I was surprised too. I thought they had redone it, but they didn't. And a couple things I would make sure that folks, if reservations are sold out at restaurants, make sure you check the walk-up, the wait time. I know it's been mentioned on the show before, but we wound up seeing Beaches and Cream with a 10-minute walk-up. And so we did it, and it was really just 5 minutes, and we sat at the counter. It was pretty fascinating to watch the chef, because with the walk-ups, you either sit at the counter facing the kitchen or the ice cream area. And that was always fun. And then we also did Fantasia Gardens. And even though it's kind of not been refurbished over the years, it's still fun for the kids or adults.
It's fun for me.
We were supposed to play that actually when we were down there, and then that was the day it stormed so bad in the afternoon. We were planning to have the podcast meet up, so I regret that. But I went to Beaches and Cream solo that day when I was there, and I wanted to sit at the counter, but I guess I made an ADR that morning. So Scott and I were talking about this. I wonder if you have an ADR they always sit you at a table. And if you do a walk up, they always sit you at the counter. That's what Scott's theory is. And that's probably true because that's what happened to you. Cause I figured, as a solo, they just throw me up at the counter. And I'm the kind of person, like, I like sitting at the counter everywhere. Like, I'll eat at the bar at Texas Roadhouse because I just like the action. Like, I like to see what's going. It's just entertaining to me, especially if you're by yourself. It gives you something to watch. But I wonder if that is the
And
fact.
they probably would do it if you asked. They probably would, but they did say that was for the walk up.
Yeah, it's probably the case. How were the crowds while you're down there? And did you guys use Genie Plus, or did you spend much time in the parks, or how'd that go?
So because it was a work trip for me, we did afternoons in the parks and evenings. We did have Genie Plus Thursday through Saturday. And we didn't do a lot of the park time. It was, we probably didn't need it, but it was busy. And to do the rides that she wanted to do, like Slinky Dog yesterday, you had to have it unless you did the early morning. Yesterday we could have done the early morning and it would have been a walk on for everything, but she didn't want to get up, so we just did the lightning lane for that. That's the big thing, is staying on the property and taking advantage of the early morning if you can. We just couldn't because my mornings were working.
Very nice. So, Four Seasons, though, I've never been there. I've never been on property there. Like, obviously it's super nice, but give us a glimpse behind the curtain over there. Was that pretty sharp?
It is. It's the service is just phenomenal. It's beyond Disney service. It's you have 2 services a day. There's no change in housekeeping. It's full housekeeping and evening turn down. The water features are better than anything Disney has, even Yacht and Beach Club. They have a very nice lazy river. There's even a mini slide for the babies, for the little ones. And then there's 2 huge water slides. There's ping pong and all sorts of sports activities. And then the other thing for golfers is there's a really nice golf course, Tranquillo, and it's exclusive to the Four Seasons guests and members. And prior to, I think, 2019, it was open to the public, but they turned to a membership club. So if you stay there, you can golf there, and it's phenomenally done if you're a golfer. And then the rooms they're the largest on all of Disney property for standard size rooms. You even have a wine machine in your room if you have a park fever. It's really well done, and the service is over the top. There were 4 celebrities staying there while we were there. They of course can't tell you. And then they also have the character breakfast. So it's Goofy, Minnie, and Mickey in golf attire, and you get free pictures with that, free downloads, and then you can take your own photos. And they're bringing back a buffet. It used to be a really well done buffet, but they've stopped that. But they are bringing it back soon, from what I understand.
Very cool. Well, that's a great review.
That's a great rundown.
That'd be great for Scott. He's a golfer, and that'd be a great chance to get in on a course.
I want to see the golf characters like that.
Yeah, exactly. That too. Yeah, totally.
That's awesome.
It was interesting. The other thing too is they have a Disney planning desk. So if you're staying there at the Four Seasons, you can avoid all the phone issues that you have with Disney, and you can call. If you're staying there and have a confirmed reservation, you can use the Disney planning desk and have direct access to Disney employees who can help with tickets and all the questions you have, reservations.
Mike, you just need to stay there when you're like working.
That's what I'm saying. I'm checking in the morning, and I'll be there until 2024.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to point out, though, don't pass up on the rare opportunities like the Grand Floridian and the eggs, seeing the eggs and the snacks that they have there. And they also have a photo pass there that you get to hold the glass slipper, Cinderella's glass slipper. So that's kind of fun. And yeah, those are the main things. It was a neat experience. We just did a lot of different things that we didn't normally do.
That is cool. I don't think they want me holding anything glass. That's expensive. I'm kind of clumsy. That made
It's
me
probably
extremely
plastic.
nervous. Didn't one of the football coaches drop that's crystal football one time?
Maybe. I
Remember
don't know.
that's
Or
like
maybe it's just a rumor because like
yeah,
everyone has the
maybe.
fear of dropping
Yeah,
that
because
thing.
that's give me something that's like a glass. Yeah, I'd be scared of it. No, it's a good point though. While you're down there, because the resorts they do such a phenomenal job now with great experiences, and I think so many people are just like right through that lobby, don't even look. I mean, I guess folks like us that are listening tonight do.
And every resort, when I was down there for springtime, I was talking to some of the gals over at Saratoga, and they were like prepping for Easter with that. And this was like 2 weeks ago, and they were just telling me like they were giving me some inside scoop on like what this resort is having this theme. Riverside is going to do this, Coronado is going to do that. So every resort is doing like a separate theme, like Easter party theme, like which I just think is awesome. You can just resort hop all day if you can.
That'd be so cool to be down there to do that. I mean, that'd be like my dream. It wouldn't cost you anything. You just eat lunch somewhere, eat dinner somewhere else, snack, get a drink. So when are you guys heading back? You guys heading down anytime soon?
I go back in August for a work trip, and then we have cruises later this year, so we'll be there for Wine and Dine for the run.
Nice. I will be there. I signed it. I got all caught up in it because I don't even know why I got caught up in it, but I did. So I'll be there.
Oh, you're going to be there for Wine and Dine?
I know, because I got caught up last year because I had to do all the last minute stuff last year. I was like, well, I figured you would, and then you didn't, and so I don't know.
Yeah, I did not.
I know, but I thought you did, and I got all confused. I know, we'll figure it out. Anyway, I'll be there. Who knows?
Hopefully good luck to all the lizards signing up for marathon weekend.
Yes, that's what we're going to talk about. So, are you signing up for that, or do you have plans?
No,
good.
No, Jocelyn. I think this year we're going to skip, but she likes the Pluto 5K logo, so she'll probably do the Pluto virtual 5K virtual, and I'll do the 10K virtual. But we'll see you in 2024. Probably Princess. Okay. She wants to do the challenge, and she'll be old enough.
Yeah. It'd be fun to see her down there. Yeah. God, these kids are getting too old. Like, it's crazy that they can do all these like longer races now. It's crazy. Cause Mallory's not into running. She's not. I thought she would. She did a 5K way back when she was little, but like Emily, now she's doing 10 milers.
Yeah. She did the 10K and 10 mile for springtime. Yeah.
Or she's ready. Has she? She's ready.
So she's ready now. So like when we were at like when we're getting off that last bridge, as you're getting into Epcot on the 10 miler, she looked at me. She's like, so when, not if, when I do the half marathon, I think I'm ready, Dad, because I can do another 3.1 right now. So it was pretty awesome to hear.
That is awesome.
So it might be Princess for her. We've always talked about Princess being her first half.
That'd be a good one. Well, Jennifer, hey, thanks for the call and thanks for the update, and happy Easter to you and Jocelyn and the family. And great luck for having you.
Wade's putting the pressure on me, Mike. Sorry to interrupt, but now he's saying it's my move for Wine and Dine.
It is.
Thank you. Happy Easter, you guys.
Avoid the sleet. All right. See you later.
See you, Jennifer.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. Yeah, Wade, we empower each other. That's what we do.
Man, that's killing me a little bit.
I know. Because I got all caught up in it. Dude, okay, we got our next call, but we do got to talk about that. I'm telling you what, you get caught up in that on Tuesday. It'll be real. I always sign up for marathon, but I got caught up in the last time, and that's why I signed up. I didn't even know what I was doing. All of a sudden, I typed in my credit
card. We just said like how last Sunday how it's our least favorite, and like
it is. I don't
last
even.
Year we just left.
Got football going on. Mallory gonna be cheerleading.
So you're probably just gonna leave.
Cardinals will probably be in the World Series.
Oh my God! No.
I'm just saying. I know there's 100 reasons I should not run that weekend, and yet I signed up. I don't know. Anyway, caller is on the line. Who's joining us next? Please stop us from talking about bad decisions.
Hello, my name is Josh Ford. I'm from Frankfort, Indiana.
Hey, Josh, thanks for calling. How's you having miserable weather out in Indiana? Because you're kind of the halfway point between Scott and I. I'm sure it's not beautiful out there either for Easter.
It's not been bad, actually. It's been sunny all day, so hasn't been too bad, but it's supposed to snow tonight. So.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we got snow in Michigan coming tonight, too. Yeah.
That is wrong.
So we'll see.
Oh, well, spring will get here eventually. It makes us appreciate. We get to appreciate Florida more when we get down there.
Mike, I had golf like at least 7 times at this point last year in Michigan. It's just so sad.
Anyway, so what's going on, Josh? What's on your mind?
Yeah, hey. So I actually I emailed you. I unnursed Josh on
thanks.
Chat. But I was just talking about, I stayed at Coronado Springs back in November, and that was an amazing hotel. Was very impressed with how the stay went, and just the all the rooms were amazing, and the amenities there, it was really neat. We stayed in the cabanas, and we actually, when I got there, I went up to the desk, which I didn't know. I don't know if they always do this, but I went up to the desk and just said, "Hey, we're here. I see our room's not ready." And they said, "Well, we actually don't have a room ready, but we have several others if you want to choose from it." So they gave me like a whole bunch of rooms that I could choose from, and I actually got to choose which room that I wanted to stay in, which was really neat. I don't know if they do that often or not, or if I just got lucky.
I don't think it's ever happened to me ever, where they've been like, "Here's your choices." They're just like, they'll tell you like, here's what I always get. This is, and I don't know, Scott, if you get this. Here's what I typically get. Like when my room's not ready, they're like, "Your room will be in this area," or like it'll be in this building. But they won't tell me like what floor, where in the building.
Yeah, the only time this happened to me is when I do like an actual room request and it's taking forever, and they're like, "Well, you asked for a specific room, but if you want to not wait anymore, like here are the 3 rooms that you can go to." It's kind of what they do to me.
I love that. I mean, like, okay, the little menu kind of action there, little, put some control in myself. Yeah, that's a good cast member. That's a great way to start a trip.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was shocked when I did that. I was like, well, I guess I'll try to do that every time,
Yeah, no kidding.
But it was cool because the room that I picked, I didn't even know what I was picking when I picked it. I was like, sure, that's open, let's do it. And
don't tell me it was like the 2-bedroom executive suite.
Yeah.
It was a quarter room that had like 2 windows, and since we were at the cabanas, it was right by the little beach area. So like when we looked out, it looked like we were like right on the beach, and it was actually right around the corner from the bus stop, and it was really neat. It was like the perfect room with best view. It was really neat. I was impressed by the view of the room and where it was located. We kind of got lucky that time.
I know exactly what you're talking about, because cabanas. So here's a blast from the past. I don't know if you know this, Josh, but back before they built the tower. Okay. So this was, I mean, they started building the tower. What, Scott, would you say 5-6 years ago, maybe?
Yeah. Like 2018, maybe 2017,
3 or 4 years to build it. So in the cabanas, they had the best kept secret. One of the best kept secrets at Walt Disney World. They had this room category you could book, which was called like business class or something. It was in the cabana section right near where you're exactly describing. They knocked out like 1 or 2 of the buildings where the tower sits now, but it was close to where you're mentioning. There was this little, it was like a concierge lounge. You could go in there and they had these awesome chocolate chip cookies. They had drinks, they had fruits, they had little cereals. It was like a little club level, but it was only like $15 or $20 more a night. It was a steal. I 10 times, 10 times more, at least twice as much more in food every day on that, but it's gone.
Yeah,
but
absolutely. That would be awesome.
I missed that so much. So did you guys partake in any, like, did you do any dining over at Coronado or anything like that?
So we didn't, like, Three Bridges. I actually ate there when I went back in February of last year. But we really didn't do a whole lot of dining there. We went during Christmas time, so we did like the Very Merry Christmas, and we only went for like 5 days, so we like spent all of our time in the parks and did about everything we could do. So we didn't have a whole lot of time to actually dine in the facility too much.
I still have not been to Three Bridges. Still haven't. Have you, Scott?
Yeah, I've been there. It's a good spot.
I haven't.
It's a great spot. When I went in February last year, you sit right on the water, and the food is amazing. It's a great view. It's really relaxing, really. I mean, it was a nice spot. It's not hard to get into, really, either. I mean, you might have about a 30 to 45 minute wait, but it's not too hard to get into.
And it's huge too. So like my first time, I thought it was going to be like the size of Geyser Point. I don't know. That's what I kept comparing it to, and it was like 3 or 4 times bigger than Geyser Point. It's huge.
It doesn't look that big.
I know, that's what I thought too. But then I get up there and there's like tons of tables, or maybe like I don't know. Maybe I had too much fun that night, and maybe it's really not as big as I thought. But
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So what were the other
Things
highlights
I
from the
really
trip?
liked to
So you
eat
were down over
was
Christmas
at
though.
the
So
Animal Kingdom, Yak and Yeti.
go ahead.
That was amazing.
Was it the table service Yak and Yeti? Because I know they have like a counter service and a table service.
Yeah, the table service over in Animal Kingdom was really good. That was actually probably one of our favorite dining spots that we had all week was Yak and Yeti.
Awesome.
Yeah, I haven't been there in years, but that is one of my. That's a good pick. That is I've been there twice and it's had really good meals both times.
We were debating. We went to Animal Kingdom and we were trying to figure out where we were going to eat and before we went on our trip and I just saw everyone talking about Yak and Yeti and I was looking through the menu and I was like, I feel it looks pretty good and decent. So we went ahead and tried it and yeah, it was really good. I got like some kind of like barbecue beef and it was amazing. And it was also cool. I went the week of my birthday and every place we ate at, they always would bring out a cupcake for me.
There you go.
It was great. But also it was like at the end of my meal and I was like, I'm too full to eat this. So I'm like, I felt bad if I didn't eat it. So I'm like just taking a few bites out of it just to be like, I ate it.
My wife and I still joke about a trip. This was one of the trips when we were on the Disney dining plan back in the day where you got dessert with every meal. So this was a long time ago, but we were down over the summer and it was our anniversary over the summer. And so you would get a dessert with your meal. So we'd have a dessert and then every meal they would come out and be like, oh, because I put our anniversary on all the ADRs. So they come out with another cupcake. I'm like, I just ate like an appetizer, an entree. I ordered a dessert and now you're going to bring me a cupcake. Like I can't, and you're right. Josh, like you're trying to be polite, right? You take a couple bites because like the server's there. I'm like, this thing's going to kill me. Like I'm going to die by cupcake by Friday.
You just like cut it up a little bit and put a little piece on everyone's plate where it looks like you actually ate it, but you really didn't.
Yeah, you're just kind of like spreading it out so it looks like you did. Yeah, something. Yeah, totally.
Exactly. I'm like, I got to walk through the park after this. I was like, I'm going to be rolling at
it. Exactly. You're like, oh man, what a way to go though.
Right.
Oh, mercy.
Another place we went was Chef Mickey's for breakfast, and that was really neat as well. I hadn't been there. I mean, it's the food okay, but I mean, the just experience of having the characters walk around, it was a lot of fun. And we actually went on the day of my birthday, and so that was really cool. It was cool to just kind of be kind of closer to the characters than you get in the park. So.
Yep. And that, you know what, that's so funny that you mentioned Chef Mickey's. That's where the crime happened the very last time was what the one put me over was at Chef Mickey's. They brought, because we had eaten at Chef Mickey's and we'd done the buffet and they brought out a cupcake that day. And I was like, this was our last meal of the week. And I was like, I cannot do another cupcake, but I have a picture of it. Like I'll have to find that picture and put it on Instagram because you can just see in my face, like I'm smiling. I think we're with the server. And like we have our little buttons on that says we're celebrating our anniversary. And I'm just like, oh, I do not want to eat that cupcake. So one other tip though about Chef Mickey's, I'll just throw this in there for our listeners that maybe you've never been to Chef Mickey's. When you finish Chef Mickey's, because you're probably stuffed every time you go there, go out in the back of the Contemporary, not in the front, like towards Seven Seas Lagoon, go in the back towards the pool and take a picture there's a Mickey silhouette. It's a kind of stainless steel Mickey. It's a great photo opportunity, with whoever you're traveling with. It's a great spot. Scott, you've done pictures there, right? I mean,
we've done plenty of pictures there. I think we've done some progression growth charts even with that with Emily. The back of the Contemporary is like a really cool spot to just hang out. If you have the time, but yeah, definitely try to do that photo op.
Yep. I just want to throw that in there. So any other highlights, Josh, from your trip?
Yeah. Well, also, it was cool when we went to Chef Mickey's, our waitress, she started sharing a story. That day was her 50th anniversary with the Walt Disney Company.
Oh, sweet.
And it was awesome because it was like just a month after the 50th anniversary.
Wow.
And she was amazing. She was so nice. And she was shaking a little bit. And that's why she got the story started because she apologized because she's like, they just celebrated me. They brought out this huge cake and they said it was like she showed us a picture of it. It was like a Snow White and a Seven Dwarfs like statue. It was like huge that they gave her for her 50th anniversary of being with the company. And then she said that her husband works at Animal Kingdom and it was his 48th year, I believe is what she said. And so he'll be celebrating his 50th year coming up. And it was a really cool just moment, you know, with the cast member and her story. And it just happened to be that day that was her 50th anniversary. So it was really cool.
98 years of service at Walt Disney World between that couple. Can you imagine the stories they have when they have dinner? I mean, could you, because like, you know, my wife, like I work from home now, so my stories are pretty boring. You know, I mean, I get emails and stuff, but they're not as good as when I used to teach. And when you're a teacher, you know, you're a nurse, like you probably have awesome stories. I'm just saying every day, like you, I guarantee you, because I just know people that are on the front lines, awesome stories, hard jobs, awesome stories. But I'm always like, when we go to dinner, I'm like, Pam, what happened today? And then I'm like, I shouldn't have asked because they're crazy and they're long. But yeah, it's one of those things. Can you imagine the stuff they've seen? Like, oh my gosh. Like, I mean, just to see Walt Disney World in 71 when it was just the Magic Kingdom and a couple of resorts. I mean, they've heard the rumors of, oh, there's going to be this park called Epcot. I mean, can you, like, that was like so far off and it happened. And I mean, everything else has come since then. That's crazy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was great. And 25 of those years, she told us she had actually been at the Contemporary for 25 years, and then I believe the 25 years before that, she was at Magic Kingdom. She said she started out when she was 16, I believe, at Magic Kingdom. So it was really cool to hear her story.
That's awesome.
That is, and that's the kind of stuff that. I mean, we talk about reasons we go back to Walt Disney World, but encountering cast members like that they're walking history. I mean, they are. I mean, you can, you know, they're carrying on the legacy of what Walt brought to Florida, you know, and that's, you know, because they obviously didn't meet Walt, but they have a very close connection to that initial dream, you know, where there's nothing against cast members that start today in 2022, but you don't have that same legacy of being there from 71 on. That's just you know, one of those things again, it's really hard because when I was a teacher, I know, like, if it was a young teacher starting today and I was still teaching, they probably wouldn't want to listen to me. They'd be like, that dude, he's crazy. He does things the wrong way. He does them the old way. But I hope that kind of the new cast members do kind of glean from folks like that and just maybe take in a couple of the stories. Maybe, you know, maybe you think half the stories are crazy. Maybe they are. But I mean, you know, take in some of that pride and tradition that they have.
Yeah, absolutely. It was really cool because, I mean, just thinking that she has seen it from the start and now all the way to the 50th anniversary. I mean, just how much Disney World has changed in 50 years. I mean, she's seen it all. She's been through it all. And it was really cool just to talk to her, and she shared stories as well throughout the time. And it was really cool. I mean, just kind of get a glimpse of the history of Disney from somebody who's actually been there and experienced it.
And it makes me happy that they honored her in that way, like with a you know, memento, a statue, you know, some kind of thing like that, and you know, a cake or, you know, whatever kind of a recognition, and that she was moved by it, so that meant something to her. I mean, that's you know, that's the literal icing on the cake right there, that she got to you know, have that recognition.
Yeah, absolutely. I was thrilled to hear that Disney did that for her.
That makes me happy. That's why I like having this show, so we can get that out there to everybody and hopefully put a smile on people's faces if listen here on a Thursday on the feed. That's what it's all about. Well, Josh, hey,
yeah,
I appreciate you calling in, and don't be a stranger. We'll be back next Sunday night.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
All right. You have a good week, and thanks for being out there. We really appreciate it, because I know it's a tough time to be on the front line. So thanks for taking care of us.
Thanks. My pleasure. Have a happy Easter.
Yeah, you too. Thank you. Have a good night. All right. Bye-bye. All right, it's a great. Can you imagine? I can't even imagine working anywhere for 50 years.
I know, it's a long time. We met. I think her name was like Earlene, or she works at the Contemporary. We saw her. We took a photo actually with her at the Contemporary the day before the 50th. She was working the like Buena Vista, whatever that gift shop is, at the Contemporary there, and it was just awesome. Yeah, she had like her 50th name tag and everything. It was awesome.
It is, like, just the story. I just, you know, when you think about it, I mean, just think like Riverside, French Quarter, DVC. I mean, all that stuff was just like, oh, that's a crazy idea. Like, that was, I know. That was so, I know. And then, you know, it's been around forever. Oh my gosh. Okay. 407-413-9395, 407-413-9395. We have about 8 minutes left in the show here. So if you want to jump in with us, please do. We love talking with you here on the BOGP open line. But Scott, so we have Marathon Weekend registration happening Tuesday. As you're listening to the show on the feed, hopefully you are registered for all the races that you wish for January. But we were kind of talking right before Josh called in and gave us those awesome stories and got me excited about Coronado Springs, where I'll be in a couple weeks for a couple nights. The sign up though, if you are a runner who's done the Run Disney thing and you're kind of on the fence, that's what happened to me. Like I got caught up in the excitement of it. You see everybody, you get in the queue, you all of a sudden your credit card's in and you're done. Marathon weekend though, special beast. You're registering for that, right? You're doing Dopey again, I hope. Right?
Yeah, I think I am. Why not, right? Why not do it? It'd be my 5th Dopey. It's the 10th anniversary of Dopey, 30th of the full. So, and the theme they teased looks spectacular. So I feel like I kind of
Taco Bell, baby. I know it's so 90s. I do like it. It's Taco Bell kind of in the 90s.
I love the theme. So like I just don't know about Emily. So this is weird. Like, and I don't know from your background, Mike, do you think as a teacher in that old profession, I know you haven't been in a while, like, shouldn't we know what the winter break schedule is for next year? Or is it too early to know that?
You should. But here's the thing, like post-COVID, I don't know. Like
I know
back in the day, the schedules were more concrete. I think now with, AMI days, and I think things are more fluid. And plus with staffing, I think staffing's a lot harder now too, but the thing is, so marathon weekend, we could talk about that real quick, how this year it butts up against New Year's. Like,
so that's what I'm trying to get at. Yeah. So Christmas is a Sunday. So in my opinion, like my daughter's winter break should start the 26th, or start the day after. Because it seems like the 17th would be so early for winter break to start, But
it's going to start before Christmas, I would imagine.
So one year it didn't. So we came down for marathon. We came down for marathon week, and she didn't miss a single day of school. So I would love to know this by Monday, because I would like to register her for a race if I know she's going to be on winter break. But I don't know if she's going to be on winter break. Okay, you know what I mean?
Calendar here. So this Christmas will be, you said, so it's on a Sunday.
Yeah.
25th of December. So Christmas Eve is on a Saturday.
So to me, it means like the 23rd would be the last day of school.
The 26th probably should be the first day of Christmas break.
And if it is, they get 2 weeks. So Emily would have marathon weekend off from school. So my thought would be like, we just go down. My thought would be we go down the 26th. We stay for 2 weeks.
I would guess though. Okay, here's again, I've been in education, but this is just what I'm guessing. They will be off the 23rd because there's always like a day off before Christmas Eve. I would guess most districts will be off the 23rd, but then that makes it really funky because are you going to go back? So let's see, New Year's Day is on the 2nd. That's Mallory's birthday, by the way.
Yeah.
So then everybody's
New Year's is a Sunday.
Yep. And so, oh wait, no, yeah, right. It's a Sunday. Yeah.
So do you start school back on the 2nd? Like, no, seems way too early.
No, because then since New Year's Day is on a Sunday, then the holiday that everybody's off will be Monday because you get the day after, like a holiday.
Yep.
Then everybody would go back on the 3rd, which is terrible because if you're going down for marathon weekend, you're probably going to check in on the 4th.
Yeah. So you may as well just have that whole week off and be down there for New Year's.
Like I'm probably going to get my hotel from the 4th, which is Wednesday, to the 9th, which is the Monday. That's usually what I do.
I'm looking to get mine on the 26th and staying for 2 weeks. If I knew that Emily's winter break was going to be that time frame, that's
a good opportunity, right? I mean, because we did that a few years ago.
So that's what I'm saying. This is the same scenario that happened a few years ago, where I remember we stayed at the beach club for like 10 nights because we're down there for Thanksgiving. And not Thanksgiving. Well, that'd be a long trip, Mike.
You're just moving at that point. Yeah. That's like COVID when you went down there to work forever.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's tough. So I mean, it's fine if the winter break schedule doesn't come out for another month or whatever. That's fine for planning, but it stinks for registering for the race. Like I don't know I probably won't register Emily for anything, but we may be down there, because of winter break. So tough call.
And the thing is, Emily probably wants to do singular half marathon, right? Which is probably besides the 10K, probably the most likely to sell out quickly.
Exactly. I know. Dang. So there could always be the charity option, right?
Yeah. True.
But or do I just sacrifice that cost, right? Do I just register for the half?
It's like an insurance policy. Yeah,
it is like an insurance policy. Yeah,
well, you're right. And that's what I did. And actually, Katie mentioned this earlier. Like, I registered for the New York City Marathon knowing I had a slim, I've always heard you have less than a 10% chance of getting in your first time. It's like a lottery, but I did register for that. And it's the same weekend as the Wine and Dine. And I did both, and I knew they were non-refundable. And so if I would have gotten in New York City, I was going to have to just eat Wine and Dine, which now it worked out. So I was wanting New York City, but this way I'm not out any money. But okay, so Marsha's in Michigan. She says her school does not have
calendar yet. And I read about like splitting a week. So like historically in Michigan, we have never split a week for a break, like a spring break or a winter break. So it's going to start on a Monday. So it's either going to start on that 26th or it's going to start on the 19th. So I'm very curious what the district's going to decide.
Yeah. Wade just says sign her up. So there you go. Wade has spoken again. Wade only pops in with comments every once in a while, and they're powerful. I'm just saying.
They're powerful, and there's me spending more money and having extra trips. So I see what Wade's trying to do. He just wants us to hang out with Hugh even more, which I'm all for. We
all got to be there. Like, I want to hang with Wade and Hugh and you and Emily and everybody.
And Shelly and everyone. Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah. I mean, hey, we'll meet in Mexico. That's what we do. Anyway, so good luck to everybody registering on Tuesday. If you're listening on Thursday, I hope you got everything you're looking for. And remember, Scott mentioned a great point. If you didn't get in, and the thing is, knock on wood, last year, a lot of the distances were open for a long time after the day. So let's hope that's the case this year. I don't know that it will be the case. I'm not saying it will be, but it could be. But if not, there are charity routes to go, and it's kind of a win-win. You do have to fundraise, but the charity comes out ahead. You get to do your races. So, it's not it. If you don't get in, don't think all bets are off. You can still probably run your races because you've done that many times, right?
Yep, I sure have. Yeah, I just did it for springtime.
But I will say that time we did that where we went down for Christmas and New Year's and then marathon weekend for Dopey, dude, you talk about dog tired because it's at the end. It's at the end of like, because I mean, obviously New Year's Eve, you're staying up like you're staying up late. You're like, I mean, it's a hard.
But that one year, like it was so wet and cold and rainy, like all we did was hang out at the beach club. We never we just hung out indoors all the time.
That is true.
I recorded a podcast even from one of the villas.
We did. We recorded a podcast. Like we brought all the gear. We did one in the Boardwalk Villas. And I remember we spent 75% of the trip in the community room at the beach club villas, I think, doing arts and crafts.
So this is interesting. Like I'm kind of glad I brought that up. So some people have their breaks already figured out. Justin's saying theirs starts on the 26th. Some are saying in Michigan they do split weeks too. It's kind of fascinating how like different every district is, right? Even within the same state.
Supers, get on it. People need to know. We got to sign up for races.
Yeah, I might email the super tonight. I know his email. I know his name. I know where he lives. So
just swing by his house. I'm sure he doesn't start a Sunday night.
He lives next to Elizabeth's aunt, so I'll just swing by there.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd appreciate you knocking on his door.
I know. When's winter break? I need to know for Run Disney registration.
This stuff's expensive, man. I got to know. Anyway, all right, we're going to jump out of here. But again, we'll be back again next Sunday night, 7:00 Eastern, 6:00 Central. The week after, we'll be taking off because I will be down at Walt Disney World for cheer. We're going to try to hit 0 and win a national championship down there with the Platinum Athletics crew. But next week, we are going to be here, and I hope you will be too. It's going to be you, me, and Scotty G. We love these live call-in shows. Thanks to everybody who called in. Hope we got Greg some answers out there at the National Weather Service. And we're going to jump out of here. So again, support us over at the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney vacation. If you are a Disney Plus subscriber and you're headed down this summer or early fall, we can save you some money right there for just streaming some awesome Disney content. We also book Disney Cruise Line, Disneyland, Adventures by Disney, Universal, whatever you need. We'll take care of you over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our patrons who support all of our shows once a month. And our patrons get Mike in the Midwest. It's a bonus show every week. Come on over to patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Give this guy a follow on the social media. He's at Epscot, EPSCOT. On Instagram and Twitter. You can talk to him every day over there. Also follow him at Palm Trees of Disney for some relaxing pictures.
I just posted a Palm Trees of Disney Disneyland photo, Mike. Just for you.
Hitting me hard, dude. July 2nd. I cannot wait. July 2nd. I'm almost there. So also I'm at Be Our Guest Mike. So give me a follow on Instagram and Twitter. Subscribe to the show on Facebook and YouTube. And if you don't mind, if you have not lately, please drop by Apple Podcasts and give us a rating and a review. We'd really appreciate that. And thank you very much to everybody who has done that so far. All right, we're going to jump out of here. And of course, we're going to be back again this week. Monday, we got a trip report. Wednesday, listener questions. Friday, roundtable discussion with Pam and Ricky. But until then, we hope that you're having a great time wherever you are. You're having a great day. So for Scott, I'm Mike, wishing you a very happy Sunday night or Thursday on the feed. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. All righty, that was fun. Now go get your eat on.
Awesome. Yeah.
Go get some
The thing is, I'm not even really that hungry. I tore up some LS Teco earlier, so
that works. I'm not either. I'm just gonna go probably make a ham sandwich.
Dude, it's crazy how the prices change. Are you seeing that too? At your local restaurants and
Yep.
So the burrito that I normally get was $9.75. It's normally not like a crazy big size burrito. It used to be $5, I swear, 3 years ago. And now
so I always get I only get one thing. I get the number 15, which is a combo. It's got a burrito and enchilada and a chimichanga with beans and rice, and it's $10.95. So
yeah, I don't know. LS is just through the roof. But it's all right. It's still good. It's my spot.
Yep. Oh, look at that. Look at that. No, Wade's killing us again with that.
Dude, he just comes in with
he's coming in hot.
Yeah. He wins. I forgot to say this though. I heard from a listener that they really love the 5 and 10. So maybe we should bring that back.
Oh, God.
Next one.
Okay, yeah.
I heard some really good reception on 5 and 10.
Okay, we'll do it next week. I just didn't want to burn it into the ground. I thought I was the only one that liked it.
So. No, I heard that was a lot of fun to play in the car on a road trip and stuff. So
yeah, I have a whole list of them. I was just people probably hate it, so I'm not doing it
anymore. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, I'll catch you later. You guys have a good night and tell everybody hello.
Yep. See you.
See you guys. Bye-bye. Let me save this real quick before I lose it. Hang on, everybody. Let's see. Let's go desktop. Let's go Be Our Guest Podcast. It's called Live Show, April 17th, 2022. We didn't make any mistakes tonight. Alrighty, everybody. You have a good Sunday night. Happy Easter. Happy Passover. Hope you're celebrating with your friends and family. And we will have a great show for you on Monday. And come back tomorrow night when we record with Pam and Ricky. Have a good night with your friends. See you later.